Hello, good evening, and welcome back. Happy 5th of November to all my fellow British viewers. And it is a shame that the largest bonfire display in the world for the 5th of November can't go on tonight in Lewis because of the coup. Yes, of course, they walked through 2 world wars, but they can't handle the sniffles. But in other sniffles news of the virus, the news tightens, as we see in Manchester Fallowfield University campus, where students have pulled down campus fences which were erected supposedly for their own safety. And this is what we've been saying in these circles for quite a while, and is another example of it, but a positive one because of the pushback. That by using the allure of protection against a virus, then the government will try to enact more and more draconian measures in order to know what people are doing and to make people more subdued and compliant. And then, of course, getting rid of meat as well, so that you're more compliant from a physiological perspective. You'll have a worse hormonal balance, less testosterone, and be more compliant. That's the push behind stopping meat eating. But if they decide to go a bit too far in one direction of security, then people are going to push back. Because the slippery slope or the foot in the door theory only works if the increases are gradual. If they're too big, then people snap out of their coma and realize, hang on, what the hell is going on here? And this was a fine example of that. So they thought that they could go, okay, well, we're going to go as students because they understand. We're going to partition them off. Then we're going to partition other groups off. And because it's already been okay with the students, it'll be fine with you as well. Just like we said before, that you can't travel out far from your home. We're going to do that, and now we're going to keep those barriers there to keep you safe so that other bad, illegal citizens, other criminals can't sneak their way into your community and infect you. For your safety, we're going to have to enact a wall. And then this wall is going to be watched, and it's going to segment off your city from another part of the city. Wait till they try to do this in Berlin. But I believe that was the plan going on here. At this point, I've kind of given up on the idea that it's ignorance, and pretty sure it's malicious intent. So as it was too far beyond the pale, the students revolted, and they took down the fences. They were officially taken down, but they were also taken down by the students themselves, and good for them. And this is very important because hopefully there will be at least some people, and some of the students here as well, who will go, hang on a minute. I thought we were concerned of a virus. People were told to not interact with people, and we're waiting for a vaccine, but now you're forcing us to stay inside with fences in a place like this. Oh, hell no. And then hopefully they'll be thinking, well, other people are going to be feeling in a similar position to us here, and that's not acceptable. And hopefully they'll then start to question everything else. It's like, well, yeah, hang on. If people are told to stay at home, and this is just an enforcement of that rule, then why are we okay with that in the first place? And hopefully it's going to spread out from there. But that's a lot of hopefullys, and we all know just how quickly things get memory hold. But hopefully, for the individuals in Fallowfield campus who have had to go through this, and also their families and friends, it'll be far more pertinent to them. And then it will be a sizable block to call upon later on, because these people will be permanently affected by this change, and they can be called upon later on. So at least bear that in the back of your mind. So what exactly happened? Well, as I say, those living at the University of Manchester's Fallowfield halls of residence awoke to find workers putting up huge metal barriers, and they're just regular fencings, and you can see in the concrete blocks. You can pull them out to the base and then move them away, and you get a little open gate, unless they're connected, as you see here, with either tape or wires or brackets, which will then stop them from being moved as much, especially when it's a longer, more rigid fence. So the university apologised for the concern and distress caused. First-year management student, who did not want to give her surname, said, "Morale is low. We're really disappointed we didn't hear about this beforehand, and about the fact that it went up without any explanation. They're huge metal barriers, they're connected to one another, and there's literally no gaps. There is fencing around the whole outside. We feel like it's completely unnecessary. It makes it feel like we're in a prison." And you've got the guardrails here, of course, for cars coming off the road, but they're not designed to stop people getting over them, of course. So it also means you can't have anybody this side of the barriers at any time for concerns of them being run over. So fellow first-year English literature undergraduate said the 7-foot fencing was a further blow to many who had already spent weeks isolating. It's not like living at home. We don't have a sofa, we have a kitchen and plastic chairs. There's nowhere you can relax there. You're in a completely different city and you do feel lonely there and trapped. Apologies. You feel lonely there and trapped. I see the protester calling it HMP Fallowfield, but it's £9,000 to enter. Just for 1 year, bear in mind. So he was among those who attended the protest where much of the fencing was torn down. People were dragging them down and jumping on them. We walked on the grass that was restricted by the fences. We did a lap of the whole campus. The university initially insisted it had written to students, informing them about the construction, but has since acknowledged work began ahead of the message being seen. And it's nice to say, we're going to go do something, but do you think you might have given it more thought if you decided, let's ask these people if they would like to give up their freedom for this security? And if they did so, I would say chances are they would have had more success. So I'm kind of glad they didn't. Because by doing that, then you can control the narrative. So you never say you're giving up your freedom. Of course not. But instead you would couch it in fear and that you're the one giving the answer. It's a classic sales tactic. That you say, without us, you wouldn't have a chance. But thankfully I'm here and I'm going to provide this to you, exactly what you want. And I'm in the perfect position to give it to you. Not suspicious at all. Definitely not pushing a narrative. But it's a very fearful place, and we've seen other campuses have been terribly affected, like the Manchester Metropolitan University, and also other campuses around the country, and it's really, really bad, because then of course you can't go see your parents either, and you're stuck inside, and we don't want this to happen to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop other people from visiting you, from being able to spread their filthy germs around where you are, and we're going to keep you safe in doing so you can get on with your student life, student activities, and maybe even do some work without having to worry about other people giving you the virus. Aren't we nice? That's probably what they should have done, and possibly something that they contemplated, but probably thought that they didn't have a good enough spin doctor, so just went with it instead. In a statement, President and Vice-Chancellor, Professor Dame Nancy Rothwell, said the fencing was not meant to cause distress nor prevent students from entering or exiting the site. It was intended, she said, to address safety and security concerns from students and staff, particularly about access by people who are not residents. The fences are being taken down from Friday morning and students are being contacted immediately, she said. Whereas alternative security measures, including additional security patrols, are being put in place. So, in that case, for residents coming on, is it now a concern because of raising the terror alert level in the UK? And that's something that I don't want to mention. Because, of course, when they're saying it's safety and security, they're not mentioning if it's the virus or if it's from the higher terror threat. But the idea here with the saying lockdown is supposed to be from COVID instead of being from terrorism. Either way, it's disheartening to see this happen in the first place, but it's heartening to see the response. And let's hope that this can spread out and affect other people, and we can be swept up in that more freedom-oriented approach instead, as the election across the pond still trundles on. But as always, let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think this was for COVID? Do you think it was for terror? Or do you think it was just malicious intent from the outset? But which one do you think they're going to try and go to? Because they haven't said if it's about the virus or for terror, but related topics according to the BBC put it down to the virus. And as always, like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. And until next time, let's keep one eye on the election in America. It's the last bastion of freedom over there. And as always, until next time, have a good one.